Let's see, what did we get from the nice friendly DMV? Oh no, smog. Well, I guess it's really not the end of the world because we have to get a smog check. So in California, you got to get the smog check every 2 years on older cars. I think the first 5, I think it is, 5 years you don't have to get it. Anyway, the check engine light can't be on or you're automatically going to fail the smog check. So what I do is I take my old Innova 3100 OBD2 code reader and I check for a green light on the IM monitor status before going to the smog station. If it is yellow, you need to complete a drive cycle. And the IM monitor status is inspection and maintenance. There's 8 items that are checked on this Acura 3.2 TL. 3 are continuous monitors: misfire monitor, fuel system monitor, which is fuel trim, comprehensive component monitor. There are 5 once per trip monitors: the catalyst monitor, evap system monitor, oxygen sensor monitor, oxygen sensor heater monitor, and the EGR system. So if you recently changed your car battery or if you cleared codes, you'll most likely need to drive your car so that the drive cycle is completed. The evap is the most challenging to get it to show that it has run. That's the term that's used on here. And in California, not every station will let you, but they're supposed to. You are allowed to have the evap not run when you go in for smog. The reason for that is there's so few places where you can drive at a steady speed of 55 miles an hour long enough and then decelerate to get this evap to reset. So a drive cycle on this Acura is also similar to my Corvettes. If you do these steps, it will work, and it will only take you a few minutes. So your gas tank needs to be between 1/4 and 3/4 full. This will not work on a full tank. That's why I need to burn off some of my gas here, because I just filled it up. The outside air temperature must be above 40 degrees. I think it can be a little colder, but generally you want it to be above freezing. The engine needs to be cold, so it needs to be parked for a couple of hours before you start this. So when you're ready to begin, turn on the air conditioner and the rear defroster when you start the car and let it idle normally for 2.5 minutes. So watch your clock. Turn off the AC and rear defroster and drive slowly or moderately to a freeway entrance or a country road and accelerate at only 1/4 throttle until you hit 55 miles an hour. Then stay steady at 55 miles an hour for 3 minutes, or a little longer if you need to, but don't exceed 60 miles an hour and don't use your cruise control. After that 3 minutes, lift off the throttle and let the engine decelerate down to 20 miles an hour without touching the brake pedal or downshifting. This is important. It will not complete if you touch the brake or downshift. After you get down to 20 miles an hour, you want to press the throttle 3/4 of the way down this time and accelerate back up to 55 miles an hour. Stay steady at 55 miles an hour for 5 minutes this time, or a little longer if you need to. Then lift off the throttle and decelerate again down to 20 miles per hour without touching the brake pedal or downshifting. After you're done with that, drive somewhere that you can park the car, turn off the engine. Now take your OBD2 code reader and see if the IM status light is green and ready for smog. And if you can't find a nice country road to do this at 55 miles an hour, use the freeway at night or very early morning and find a clear, wide shoulder and use your emergency flashers to pull over to do the decelerating part so you don't get rear-ended. You'll need about 1/4 mile to a 1/2 mile stretch of clear shoulder without debris, broken down cars, or retaining walls or anything that you're going to hit. So check it out in advance. Make sure you have a safe place to do this. Okay, so let's check if this car is ready. So let's take our OBD2 scanner and get it plugged in here. Okay, get the key. Wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. Oh yeah, baby, it's green. We're good to go. It's ready for the smog station. Now you're ready to go find a smog place, and I like the test-only stations. When you get to the smog station, be sure that your engine is fully warmed up. They're going to do a visual inspection to look around to see if anything's been tampered with or missing or broken. Then they're going to look for any fuel leaks and looking for any visible smoke coming out of the tailpipe. The real test is the OBD2. They're going to plug into your dashboard and run it through their computer just like you did. This really determines if you pass or not. And we already checked this with a low-cost code reader, so we are confident this car is going to pass. And of course it passed. California no longer does the treadmill test. You probably saw that just in front of the front wheels of my Acura at the test station. They used to put your drive wheels on the treadmill and run the car at various speeds with a sniffer up the tailpipe. This Acura has an ultra-low emission ULEV engine, so they can hardly measure anything from the tailpipe anyway. The smog test these days simply pulls information from your OBD2 port in the dash after a cursory visual check for any illegal modifications or broken equipment. I paid $38 at a test-only station, and out of that, $8.25 goes to the state of California for the certificate. It is electronically transmitted to the DMV. This is a pass or don't pay station for cars that are model year 2000 or newer. Pass-only stations are not allowed to have tools, so they can't mess with your engine, and I like that. I also watched during the entire test to ensure there is no monkey business. So if you found this information helpful, give me a like and subscribe. Appreciate it.